Hey there, Derek here from Pacific Coast Auto, and we're looking at a Toyota Soarer. This one here with a 2.5 liter 1JZ twin turbo with a 5-speed manual. Now originally this one was a 3 liter 2JZ, but the Soarer never came with a turbo 3 liter 2JZ, and so that would have been a 220 horsepower car, and now it's up to a 280 horsepower car. Plus the 1J gets the thumbs up. It's everybody's favorite engine who's ever driven it. Which is probably not true, but probably closer to being true than you'd think. These engines are fantastic. I'm going to switch the engine off here. You can see the analog gauge set there, 85,577 kilometers. Do keep in mind though, it is an engine swap, and so that mileage is the chassis mileage, not the engine mileage. It has an aftermarket exhaust. It's really noisy. I don't want to keep it running for the neighbor's sake. Our neighbor was very nice when he told me that we had to move our car carrier because it was in the way of him parking, and I said I'm really sorry about that. It's I would really like to have a better place to be shooting these. Anyways, you got Duff Custom. Duff is the name of the beer in Simpsons. Duff Custom. It looks kind of cool with the white on there, but yeah. In terms of aftermarket parts, there's that. It appears like the turbos are factory. There's an air intake, like air filter. Strut tower braces, looks like a Cusco one. Intercooler piping and an intercooler. They've all been painted blue. I don't think that that's the color that it was when they bought it from the aftermarket company, because if you take a look at it, it kind of looks like they took an angle grinder to it and then painted it blue. But it's a translucent blue. It kind of looks neat. Now the intercooler has been hit. Now, of course, it's not leaking, otherwise the car won't run very well. But it is visible. The car is on super high style suspension. When we bought this from auction, it was very, very low. Too low to transport. Hence, somebody broke the bumper. I believe that was done before we bought it. Let me just check. It should say on here why. This is scuff and paint cracked. I don't know. I'd have to take a look at the pictures from the auction to see if that was cracked anymore, but a very, 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 very low car like this was. Yeah, it's kind of inevitable that certain things get broken by transport companies or the auction or whatever. It is adjustable suspension. It looks like Tane is the brand. And we boosted it up so that we can actually ship the car. Something like that is an extra cost, of course. So the engine seems to be really strong. It's very nice. Coolant needs to be changed. It's gross. The oil looks to be okay, but change your oil anyway. And yeah, these 1Js, wow, especially when you get them with the manual transmission. Because then you get the full control. And this one's an early model with a twin turbo. The later models are better, but these early ones are still very good. So I'll go ahead and translate this auction inspection sheet. I'd say the overall condition of the car is quite good. It has some things, of course. All 25-year-old vehicles are going to have some things, but I'd say I'm pretty happy with this one. It's a 95 Soarer 3.0 GT. Two-wheel drive, of course. Auction grade 3.5 with an interior C. Aftermarket intercooler, adjustable suspension, alloy wheels. It's Work Emotion wheels. You probably saw that. Aftermarket exhaust. Looks like a nice exhaust. It is loud, though. Original 3 liter converted to a 2.5 liter engine. Original automatic changed over to manual. I don't think Japan got manual in the 3 liter 2JZ option. I know the US did, but I don't think Japan did. I might be wrong on that. Aftermarket clutch. It's very difficult clutch. It's one of those, you really got to learn how to use it, and it's still an annoyance type of clutch on this one. Okay, sorry, can't read this part. I think it says see the car in person for details. Okay, electric folding mirrors don't work. It's on both of them. Aftermarket steering wheel. Aftermarket aero parts. Seat is ripped. I'll have to have another look at that. It's aftermarket seats in there. There's a rip in the side bolster I'll show in a second. Interior dirty and scratched. It's actually, well, yeah, I guess a little bit dirty. A few stains. It's really not that bad for such an old car, though. Right front fender bracket part has been replaced. Now, it looks like certain areas of it, like that, have kind of like, just like the intercooler, have been hit or something, but it's not really an R grade because it hasn't been repaired from an accident. Yeah. Anyway, a bracket wouldn't qualify as an R grade anyway. Underside surface rust, wheels scratched, very small scratches, small dents, repair marks on it. Right front under bracket part replaced. Right baffle dented, that's what I'm talking about there. Front support dented, another frame member that has been dented but hasn't been repaired, and intercooler has been dented. Now keep in mind this is all the information that's given to you by the auction, so you base your bid off of that. Paint cracks and scuff on the front bumper, A1, U1, A1, U1, A1, and then misaligned section on the rear bumper. Now the side skirts are probably a little bit more scratched and cracked than that, but all of the hard points of the body, any of the metal parts and the hood, everything is in really good condition. It's just the body kit that needs a refresh. And it is a cool body kit. Has a nice big drift style bumper, side skirts, and the rear under spoiler. These are, of course, popular drift cars because they're super reliable, nice long wheelbase, and you can get a lot of power out of that engine. That's part of the reason why the price has come up so much on these, or manual swapped Aristos, or the JZX100s or JZX90s. That's the Cresta, the Chaser, the Mark II. The exhaust has 2 cutouts in the bumper, but only one of them is being used. And typically the 3.0 GT on this will have 2 exhaust pipes. I don't actually know what the regular version of it has. Like the, you can buy these obviously with the 1JZ engine, which is in it now. This one just happens to be a swap. I'm saying I don't know if the regular 1JZ engine versions have 1 pipe or 2. So, really good looking styling on these. Very smooth. Bar of soap styling. After you've used the soap a number of times and all of the corners round off, but before the soap gets too thin and then folds, then you've got 2 bars of soap. Okay, let's take a look at damages. So we need some fiberglass repair there. Also, because it's fiberglass, you get a little bit of unevenness in some areas. I think this bumper has been repaired at some point too. There are some mild paint cracks here and here. Naturally, the fender has this weird line up here. It doesn't smoothly attach. I'm not sure why they did that stylistically, but I do really like the styling of this. I especially like how it has the dual headlights, kind of like headlight fog light type thing. But then from this one here, you get a subtle bump in the hood all the way down to the mirror. I've always thought that that's a really good styling choice there. Okay, so no vents there or anything, no grills. Headlights are faded, more than the fog lights, that's typical. Going down here, the pinstriping is damaged. The door hits this, and so has cracked it. This part's a little bit rough. These side skirts used to be on a Soarer that had red paint, so you can kind of see the red paint underneath. Side panel though, really clean and really crisp. Common place for them to be damaged, another common place for them to be damaged. And it has, the front bumper is styled to look like the later model with the extra grille, but these taillights are early model taillights. And spoiler is original and effective spoiler. What else we got? Going down here, some more damage on the body kit. Now, the auction inspection sheet should have mentioned a little bit more about the cracks in there, but then again, they could have very well happened when the transport company tried to get it. I think that they had to drive it right to a shop near the auction, and the door here is touching. I don't know, it's really hard to say. Something like that could definitely have been missed by the auction, and in all honesty, we wouldn't be able to tell because we don't go to the auctions to pick up the vehicles ourselves. Wiper paint fade. This one has a sunroof on it. Okay. The trunk in these is a good, decent size. The Soarer has always been kind of like the more popular version between the Soarer and the Supra here in Japan, which is a little bit weird because the Supra worldwide is the more popular one. And when the Mark IV Supra came out, which is the same generation as this, that one, I think people would all agree that Supra was more fantastic than this Soarer was. but then again, maybe not. I don't know. The earlier generation Soarers, though, were kind of like the go-to guy for the, or the go-to car for the attractive, you know, cool guy. And everybody loved them back in the 80s. This one being a third, is that right? A third generation, right? Okay, steering wheel is offset. It's a little bit weird. It looks like a styling choice because the horn button is regular. Weird though. I would definitely put that back to normal. Okay, battery probably is okay, but it's just lacking a charge. You can see that the battery does work, but it won't start the engine. Dashboard is all good. Let's get that beeping this time. Has an aftermarket CD player there, and the surround piece is missing. The AC didn't feel like it worked, so you're going to want to check that. I don't think that the compressor comes on. And this looks pretty tidy for being a transmission swapped one. It looks like they used the original parts, which is not always the case. Cigarette burn here, and 2 more here. And it doesn't smell like cigarettes inside. Recaro seats are really easy to get into the back. And it has a full rear interior. So a lot of these Soarers have been used for drift for like the last 10 to 15 years now. And a lot of them have become really crummy on the inside and gross. Of course this one needs a little bit of cleaning up, but I'd say that overall I'm quite happy with that. And look at this amount of stretch on those tires. You can't even see the rubber on the extra side until you come way over here. So it's a 215. It's probably like a 10-inch wide wheel or something. And the rears are 225 with not as much stretch. Okay, we're going to be run over by Porte, which is kind of fun, the Porte. Have a look, it has a sliding door, only one. You see that? I feel weird recording somebody that's not, yeah, don't look at those people. But yeah, it would be like if this car had just one sliding door here. Okay, that's the end of the report. Of course, if you have any questions, let me know. Thank you so much for watching, and have a nice day.